But her eyes had met his in the candlelight, soft and luminous. Her lashes cast dark shadows over her cheeks, shadows he wanted to trace with his fingertips. Menus were thrust at them. Fallon didn't bother opening his. He didn't care about the food. He continued to watch Glory. Couldn't stop himself. He was entranced. She opened her menu. Though she didn't read it, she still watched him too. Her cheeks flushed to a rosy pink. She was clearly having trouble drawing in a breath, her chest raising too quickly and too shallowly. Hungry? He asked her in a low, raspy voice. Her gaze dripped to his lips a little. I'm starved. Why do I get the feeling they are not talking about food? Evie muttered. Because they are not, Hunter told her, so hush. The table fell quiet, all eyes glued to Glory and Fallon. Get your pen, he mentally wailed. Write us away from here. But she didn't. She finally looked away. His teeth ground together. He just had to push her harder. Then, God, I'm pathetic. I decided to take your advice, he said. Fury cutting her features a split second before she blanked her expression. What thoughts stumbled through her mind? Is that right? The words were precisely uttered as though shoved through the crack in its steel wall and ironed out. That's right. The waiter came to take their order, but Kyla shooed him away. Hunter, Evie, Godiva and Romeo popped their elbows on the table, unabashed by their staring. Funny that it wasn't too long ago you protested taking my advice, Glory said. Isn't it? It's like, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I can't. She tapped a nail against her glass, and the red liquid squished. Not if I'm being honest. His lips pursed. Did she truly think so poorly of him? Of course she did. He thought in the next instant. He'd once told her that he hated witches. He'd once told her that he would pay her back for all she'd done to him. Worry about that later, when she's naked and under you, or over you. Right now, you have to push her. I'm thinking about showing Kyla my favorite gladiator costume. Does that surprise you? Hunter choked on his water. Romeo nodded encouragingly. Evie and Godiva and Kyla leaned forward, obviously intrigued. Glory gasped at the reminder of the night she'd written him into a slave cell, splattered with blood and fresh from battle. I'm learning things about you I wish you'd keep hidden, Hunter muttered. Shut it, Fallon told him. Why don't you show her your jackass costume? Glory asked through clenched teeth. Oh, wait, you are already wearing it. Okay, he walked into that one. Had she been Had she been talking about anyone else? He would have laughed. He loved her wit, and she must love warriors. Why else would she have written him into such a situation? He racked his brain for things he knew about ancient Rome. Not much. Everything he knew. He knew because of Russell Crowe. For the woman I desire, I would be willing to do anything. The words were there, a challenge. A few flicks of my wrist and I can make you prove those words violently. Do it, please, he snorted. You've run out of ink, and we both know it. She leaned forward, chorus spilling onto the table. God, she was lovely. Do you want to die? Yes, of pleasure. Her pupils dilated and her nostrils flared. Just then, she was like a living flame, fury crackling over her skin. I'm close, so close, just a little more. Maybe you'd like to visit a village in Vikings, or maybe you'd like to come face to face with a Highland chieftain and his sword. If that turned you, if that turned you, her on, then yes. Glory ran her tongue over her teeth. Every muscle in his body jerked at the sight of that pink tongue. Oh, to have it on him. It would, Kyla said, it really would. What do I have to do to get it on this action? I'd prefer a Viking over a chieftain, but will graciously accept whichever you give me. Slowly, Glory eased back to her seat. Slowly, she grinned though the expression lacked any type of humor. I think something can be arranged for you, she added, eyeing Fallon, not her. Please, Kyla said at the same time he said, Fine, I understand. He was thinking, finally. As she reached inside her purse, Fallon added, Oh, and Glory. Yes, grinned Farrell. She lifted the pen and tapped it against her chin and taunt him. He wouldn't doubt. Fire still raged in her eyes. Are you really going to do this? He peered at her, heaving chest, her dilated pupil, her lush, red lips. Hell, yes. Since I'm doubting you have the courage to write yourself into the scene, I guess I'll see you when I get back. Her eyelids narrowed and she lost her grin. He barely stopped himself from laughing. See you there, baby. He wanted her to write them both into a scene, an oddity of its own. He hadn't seen to mind the thoughts of his precious Kyla being given to another man. He had seemed more interested in Glory. Glory knew all of those shocking things, but she didn't understand them. Why had he thought for magic to be used against him? Why had he antagonized her? Did the reason matter? She thought next. She was at home, alone in her room, and she was going to use the pen, not to punish Fallon, though she wanted to do so. He'd taken another woman to dinner, a beautiful, slender woman. No, Glory was doing this to be with him, to have him to herself. She simply used punishment and anger as an excuse. When will I learn? She tried to stay away from him. She'd ignored his phone calls, hadn't ventured near his house. She'd even walked out of a room anytime he had been mentioned. She feared falling so deeply in love with him, she'd never recover. As she'd once told him, they could never trust each other. But she was still going to do this. She craved him, and the craving wasn't going away. Despite all of her reasons for avoiding him before, she couldn't stop herself now. She needed to shove him from her thoughts and dreams, and nothing else had worked. Why not give this a shot and experience another dose of that heady pleasure while she was at it? She do her best to guard her heart. Oh, maybe she could take an anti-love potion. She was nodding as she popped to her feet. Anti-love. Of course, there was nothing she could do about the emotions she harbored now. Once there, they were immune to magic, but she could prevent herself from falling for Fallon completely. Clothes and trash soared through the air as she crushed on the floor and rooted through them. Every vial she found, she set aside. Love potion number 9, love potion number 13, a magic suppressor, a magic unleasher. Ah, finally, straightening, she raised a tiny bottle of swirling azure liquid. There was a warning label in the center. Take with food, she read, may cause dizziness. If you become sick, consult your nearest witch. She'd given the potion to hundreds of women, but had never sampled the goods herself. There'd been no need. The recipe had been designed by her great grandmother and was now used in every spell book she'd ever encountered. It had to work. No one had ever complained. Here goes nothing. Lori popped the cork and drained the content, tasteless but smooth. A minute passed, nothing happened. Another minute, still nothing. She tossed the empty bottle over her shoulder. Maybe she wasn't supposed to feel anything. Frowning, she swiped up the pen and a notebook and plopped onto the side of her bed. What was Fallon doing right now? Was he at home with Kyla, waiting for Glory to act? What was the couple doing to pass the time? Grr. Unable to wait any longer, Glory began writing. Fallon is alone in his house, unable to leave. Dad took care of Kyla. Glory's frown faded. She wouldn't make him battle anyone like he'd suggested. That would make her admire him more. Even the image was dangerous. Fallon, with a sword, her mouth watered. She'd get straight to text. Do him and forget him. His clothing suddenly disappears, leaving him naked. As the ink stained the papers, she had trouble drawing in a breath. Her hand was shaking. Glory appears. No, she scratched out those words. Fallon was now alone and naked. She could just appear in front of him looking like this. She couldn't just appear in front of him looking like this. Glory weighs 115 pounds and is wearing a lacy emerald green black bra and panty set. One moment, she was draped in the black dress her sister had given her. The next, cool air was kissing her bare skin.